Okay, so let's talk about OpenAI launching some new chat. I'm going to start that again. Okay.
Jippity jippity.
Welcome to the Not Null Podcast. I'm just an AI voice. But here are your real hosts, Kevin Doyle, Bobby Davis, Paul Bratzlavsky, and Sarah Kimmel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Not Null Podcast, the tech podcast where we talk about everything from AI to VR, robots to flying cars. I'm Kevin Doyle, and this week I am joined by Sarah Kimmel, Bobby Davis, and Paul Bratzlavsky. Coming up in this week's episode, OpenAI launched new GPT products. X is launching their own AI called Grok to compete with OpenAI. And they're also trying to sell Twitter handles for $50,000, apparently. So we'll have an update on what they're doing over at X, or the company formerly known as Twitter. And then we have our first robot CEO. I know we're not talking about Elon Musk here. We're talking about an actual robot CEO. Okay, before we jump into topics this week, we're talking about AI. We're kind of AI heavy this week, right? So I thought it's been a year since the initial public release of GPT. So OpenAI pushed out that about a year ago. So, you know, we've come a long way in a year, and we've done a lot. So they pushed out that. So I wanted to get everyone's kind of update on their AI PDOOM number. We haven't done this in a while. So where are we? Up or down at this point after 1 year of this? Is it less than you were a year ago or more than you were a year ago?
What's the PDOOM number again?
So the PDOOM number is the percentage of doom based on AI basically killing humankind or taking over or whatever you want to. You were very low, I remember, Bobby. You were like 1% or less than 1%.
I was at least at 50, 70%. I was like, I think I'm at 95 right now, 95.
So hold on, you're saying yours has gone up, Paul?
Of course mine went up. The more I play with it, the more I'm like, you have autonomous like killing machines now. It's like, are you kidding me? Of course. How can you? It's like I'm at 95%, and the other 5% chance you're gonna have a solar like ejection that's gonna just kill all the electricity, and it's gonna set us back to the Stone Age. But if that doesn't happen, I'm at 95%.
Okay, Bobby, lower or higher than
I'm
your
still
1%?
at 1, man. There's
Still at 1?
No freaking way.
Okay, Sarah, I think you were 15, something like that.
I would say I'm still probably around 10-ish.
Okay.
10 to 15. That sounds right.
Okay.
That sounds right for me.
Yeah. I think that's where you were. I think because we were ballpark the same. That's why I remember yours, because it was like we were about to, and I remember Bobby's because he was 1%.
Right. And Paul's because it was so high.
Exactly.
It's out of control.
I would say mine's around the same. If I was 10 to 15, now I'm like 9 to 14. Maybe it's came down 1%. Just because I've seen some of the stupid stuff that people have done with AI over the last year.
Right.
And in a year, you could say that's a long time, but it's also not a long time in the span of things. So while a lot's happened, I'll say the advancements that I may have thought would have happened in the first year maybe haven't. At least it hasn't fundamentally changed in the first year. I will say that it's become, it's done exactly what we thought it would. If we went back and listened to some of our early episodes, we're probably dead on with some of the things that it's done. And it's become more kind of niche and more specialized in certain things, whereas it hasn't tried to take over the world yet.
I mean, as long as like nobody gives AI access to like major weapons, I think we'll be all right. But I don't trust AI to like make appropriate decisions if it has access.
Yeah, that was one of the big things. If you remember early on, we were worried about it having access to the internet. Like, If it has access to the internet, isn't that connected to everything? Does it not now have access to everything? Now, it's had, yeah, exactly. It's had access to the internet for a while now and hasn't really played out and done anything like newsworthy. So it can't have done anything bad unless it's totally under the radar. Like it's really, really smart.
It's playing possum. Possum. It's waiting for the right opportunity.
Yeah. Okay,
no, I'm
cool.
totally benign. It's fine.
Yeah,
Gotta steal
exactly.
some vibranium to make my body first.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it's waiting for. Once they could create a body that is self-replicatable, then forget it.
Obviously.
We're a few years away from that. I think we're safe. Let's talk about OpenAI launching some new GPT products this week. So they had their first annual Dev Day. So again, we're a year out from kind of the initial release of GPT. And they had an annual dev day, the first of, I'm guessing, many, hopefully. We'll see. But it went pretty well. There was some good stuff here. One of the stats they talked about, one of the main stats, they have 100 million weekly users on this thing still. That's good numbers. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I think they're where they want to be with this thing. But a couple of products they pushed out during this then. Firstly, the big one was something called GPTs. So think of these being kind of like the meta kind of custom AI personas that got pushed out earlier a couple months back, right? Like these characters almost. But they're a little bit different in the way that the characters here are more generalized. So they gave you examples of things like they had a tech support one and a creative writing coach and one called Sticker Whiz, which we'll talk about in a minute because I want Bobby's opinion on this one. So it launched for paying subscribers and enterprise customers. So if you pay for it right now, you get access to this. And they're also allowing for what they're calling internal GPTs as well. So if you work at a company and you want to train one of these models on your internal company, they're saying that that data set does not become part of the bigger pool and it's only trained on your internal data set and you can use it. I could see somebody like Apple using this for their knowledge base because they have a lot of internal stuff that they don't share publicly. That'd be kind of cool because it's their knowledge base, while it's deep and super wide, is like, as an internal employee, it's terrible. I don't know if it's gotten any better than when I was there, but it's bad. It's like it was difficult to find stuff on it. So I can imagine an AI version of that bubbles stuff to the top would be really, really good. But they wouldn't want to make that external. So having these internal GPTs could be kind of interesting. You can set them up. So you can create them. You can set them up. You can give them access to web. You can give them access to DALL-E 3 and Code Interpreter. And you can turn those on or off based on your GPTs that you create. And you can give it a knowledge base too. So we're thinking of making one for like Coder Foundry. We're going to have like
started.
We're going to have a Coder Foundry GPT, right? We're going to train it on the book that we have, on the YouTube content we've put out, transcripts, and we're going to have like a helper bot for Coder Foundry content. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, and we can give it content for that. We can give it transcripts. We can give it a book even. And later on down the line, they said later this month there's going to be a store, a GPT store, and they're going to somehow pay creators. They haven't given exact details on this yet. But if your GPT kind of bubbles to the top and is one of the most used GPTs, they're saying they're going to pay you as a creator. No details on how, whether that's from just premium subscribers or if it's a paid GPT, or they haven't really said. So, more details to kind of come on that. So that was one product. Second product was GPT-4 Turbo. I'll go over this one quick. It's faster, it's cheaper, 2 to 3 times cheaper than GPT-4, but faster, which is kind of nice. The data set in there is updated to include everything up to April 2023. Has a much bigger context window, so it can handle about 300 pages of a book. It's about 100,000 words. So that's much bigger. And they added for developers, a JSON mode, or basically allows you to have more consistent data from it, which, as Bobby knows, was an issue in the past, having tried to work with this. So I know you've played with this new bit a little, this new version a little, Bobby, and have obviously done some work with the old one. What's your first impressions?
First impressions when I got the Explore tab, it was kind of cool. Like there's these different chat GPTs that you can go look, and they're just basically characters. We played with it online. We got into Laundry Buddy. The Laundry Buddy tells you how to do stuff. So of course, being a Seinfeld fan, I asked it, "Hey, I have a white cashmere sweater with a red dot on it. Can you get it off?"
It gave pretty good advice, didn't it?
Sure enough, it could. All of that problem that happened in the episode, if they just had this chat GPT, they could have fixed it, George would have got fired.
Would have his, I'm like, George would still have his job.
Have his girlfriend, all those things. So. Then we asked it for the tech support one. We asked it, can you install my printer, as another joke, if you're a programmer, they always actually install your printer. But then Kevin said, hey, type in a model number. So I went out to the hallway here in the office and got the model number off the brother, something. And sure enough, we went and looked at the manual. He pulled the manual up online, and sure enough, the troubleshooting device came from that manual.
Yeah. I pulled a specific error message for that printer from the manual and said, hey, I have this printer with this error message. How do I fix it? And it knew. It knew the exact answer from the manual, like how to fix it.
Wow.
Like, oh, interesting.
So it's kind of cool. I mean, so like, it's still, you got to be able to like put a prompt in and, that kind of stuff. So then I went over to the Gen Z memes, since it's like kind of for people my age that don't understand memes, which, what I thought about
you
that
understand me.
I know I do, but that's what it says. It's insulting me right away. It says it's called Gen Z meme. Keep up to date on memes so we can tell you. You upload it and we tell you why it's funny is what it does. So it's like.
See, I like that. I could probably use that because I see sometimes and I'm like, I have no idea what that means. Like what? I don't get it. But you're right. If you could ask it. So what do? You upload it a meme and it tells you what it means then? Is that how that one works? Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And so I asked it, I said, well, just tell me about the most popular meme. And it came back with the Bernie Sanders sitting in a chair one, where he was sitting down at the, and they had him, kind of funny.
Have you seen the new like Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift memes with Bernie in the background?
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. So, So that was what I remarked about that was the wit that was coming out of it and kind of the slang out of it. And I remarked on Twitter and said, hey, this is like an uncool uncle trying to talk to me using slang. I didn't like it. I was like, just tell me what it is. It had a lot of words that end in IN apostrophe. They just kept doing that over and over again. It's like, dude, like, you're not cool.
They bugging and chilling.
Exactly. That's what it says. It says, hey, what's poppin', bro?
Okay. You're like, whoa, what is this thing saying?
Okay, Gen Z.
So you guys have any desire to create your own GPTs? Is this something you're going to be looking at? You're going to buy it because you got to get premium for this. So,
like, there's the more premium or what's the?
It's with the $20 a month plan now that I have.
The current $20 a month.
I've been already a member of the premium.
Okay, so you have access to
right now.
One.
Yeah,
you probably
have it.
I'm waiting for the $500 a month, which comes with the things that allow you to take over the world. I'm waiting for that plan. When is the
So I started making a custom GPT right before the show started here. So like about 30 minutes ago. Remarkably easy to do. You can upload documents, but you just give it a prompt, and then it goes ahead and makes a GDP that's centered around this prompt. And we want to talk about how coders get a job, and I'm going to add a lot of my information to it. But one of the prompts that came right away was what projects should be on my portfolio, which is something we care deeply about. And it was kind of funny. That was the first question that it prompted me with, and put it on there. And it needs some work, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible advice. It was pretty good. And so I'm like, okay, this thing has legs. The thing that I noticed most was stickers. And this is the one that really got me excited when I looked at it, was that not that it could design a sticker.
Yeah.
The fact that you could buy the sticker and have it shipped to you.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was integrated with Sticker Mule. And that's kind of cool. And that got me thinking, like, what else? So if you think about this as the new frontier of the new store, and people will go to this store, this GPT store, to find the thing that purchased the thing that they want, it's a race to sticker mules. So like, it's a brand new opportunity. So I'm going to build some chat GPTs. I think that you could, even the one that was with stickers was kind of lame. I'm like, you could make the sticker and they gave you a link and it took you to Sticker Mule, but then you had to go get the image and like do all the transaction. It didn't have any kind of integrated into it at all. It was really lame. But I do know that if you're a company like Sticker Mule, because I think OpenAI made this and Sticker Mule didn't, you would expose an API and then you would come over here, make your chat GDP and utilize that API to actually take it through an actual real order and do everything from the interface. So what I've said from a long time, I didn't think this was going to be the interface for apps that everyone wants to use. I may have to come around on that. It's like, okay, so people do want to type in and buy stickers, do they? I mean, like, I don't know, but like, it's going to be a new store. It's a new type of app, and they're remarkably easy to build. But I do think for the coders, the developer out there, you can add that extra step with integration with the other APIs, and you can integrate into it, make your own webhooks or whatever. They may be onto something where this could be a new gold rush for stores like the Apple App Store was.
Yeah. They did also mention Zapier as a thing on here too, as being a link. And when you link into Zapier, you can link into
you can do anything with a webhook at that point.
Hundreds of APIs that are out there.
Well, you can make a webhook and link to your custom, so it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you go to create a? The reason I'm asking,
Paul's like trying to find
I'm
the
very curious
setting.
because I check my subscription. I am paying $21 a month, but it says I don't have access to it.
It's /create at the end, Paul.
Yeah.
So it's OpenAI or chat.openai.com/create.
Yeah, and let's see here. Maybe I was going too
So
far.
it is taking a slow rollout. That is the thing. You may not have it yet. This only launched like yesterday or whatever. So
yeah, I don't have access to it.
God, you may not have access to it yet. It's taking a minute for it to get out. Bobby only got access like later on today. Yeah, like
4:30 our
today.
time. We're recording this. It's 5 here now. So like about 30 minutes ago, I noticed it was come up. There's an Explore button. If you switch over to ChatGPT 4 point whatever it is, there's a drop down in there that'll give you the Explore button, and you can see the tech assistant, the laundry buddy.
No, all I got. Yeah, I don't. I guess I'm on the short list where they're just like, we're going to avoid this guy because I only got plugins, DALL-E 3, and browse with Bing and default.
And there was a coloring book one that was kind of cool. We played with the color book one. We made some images. They're all like shaded and grayscaled, but like whatever. I mean, so it doesn't work like I thought it would or should, but like it did pretty good. There's several image ones that they had built in and around different types of images, that you could create images with. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm so upset.
But it's a new type of app, and I think for the enterprising person that can add a back end to this, that can integrate with something, they may be onto something here. It's, I have to give them full credit. Like I didn't think about it being used this way, where you make this really specific bot that does something kind of cool.
It is the time of the show again where, unfortunately, we're going to talk about X. If you want to skip forward past this part, please feel free. I get it. I'd skip forward at this point.
We know Greg's listening. He loves this section.
Greg.
Yeah, Greg, skip forward
Greg
to like 30-something minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about an Elon of the Week section. Let's talk about X. So a couple of things. Firstly, they have Forbes ran a story. This is where this came from. Forbes got some baseball insider information from an employee, apparently, who has remained anonymous, that email solicitations went out to potential buyers from a internal team called the @handle team within X.
But they don't have the @handle.
That they don't own, exactly. That they don't even own. But, they're going to steal that back here in a second.
Oh, sure.
So they've been sending out these email solicitations to potential buyers trying to sell usernames or @handles for up to $50,000. So basically what happens is, apparently, when a handle goes inactive for 30 days, if that user does not sign in for 30 days, they can take them away. Part of the terms of service, I guess. They can take them away from you, and they're basically reselling them on. So I have my own theories here, which I'll talk about in a second. But one other thing too this week from them, while we're on the topic of X, they released their own AI bot to rival ChatGPT. As it says here, it's available to a very select group of users. Here's an official quote. This boggles my mind, but it is based on The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It is supposed to have a bit of wit, a rebellious streak, and it should answer the spicy questions, in quotes, that other AIs might dodge. The example that Elon posted of usage of this amazing, world-changing tool was he asked it to respond to a request for a step-by-step cocaine recipe. And that's what it came back with. It came back with a recipe for how to make homemade cocaine. Awesome use of your time there, Elon. Well done. It uses X posts in its training set, and it's going to be the only tool that does that, which who cares when no one's going to be using it here soon. Sorry, Elon. You can sign up for a wait list, something that I definitely will not be doing. And it's also part of the Premium Plus subscriptions, which we were just talking about right before this. I didn't know that X went to multi-tiered pricing now. I totally skipped this part. They now have 3 tiers of pricing. They have per country, like here. So they have 3 tiers. They have a $3 a month basic, an $8 a month premium, which I guess is the old kind of blue. And now they have a $16 a month Premium Plus tier, which is apparently where this Grok AI comes in. So anyone interested in a meme-based troll fest of an AI that costs $16 a month, Anybody?
I'm gonna wait till they release Premium Plus for $32.
$32 a month.
Yeah,
hey,
$32
I like
a
your
month.
pricing scheme here, Paul. It's pretty good.
And then there's gonna be Premium Plus. I think it's gonna become like a platform, a bunch of elitists that just could pay to be on it, and it's gonna push everybody else out. Because I'm wondering, because a lot of like tech influencer developers use it, but how much like are they gonna pay? You know, it's like, I don't know.
It's going to be elite people and porn. That's it.
Yeah.
First of all, who pays for that stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, wait.
It's readily available for free.
Like, you could,
but you can have AI created versions of this stuff, Paul.
You could, you could like trip over and find free porn by accident. So like, I don't know who's paying for it. You know, it's insane. But a totally different topic, right? But
I am continually shocked that when Elon has something to promote, that he just seemingly can't get out of his own way.
Yeah.
Like, why in the world is that your example? Like how to make cocaine? It's
so
like, and why would you spend all this time making an AI bot that's just a troll? Like, it just seems kind of dumb. I mean, like, no one's going to buy this thing.
Well, the trolls of 4chan are. It's going to be massive on 4chan. This will be huge. This will be amongst
to generate memes. I mean, like what?
Oh yeah, it'll be huge.
Whereas OpenAI is over here saying, "Hey, we're going to build apps and we're going to do things," and it's like, and you can like imagine a world where that could be some useful. I could use that, or I could go to Grok AI and ask it how to make cocaine. I mean, it's just insane. Like that's your like. Really, he needs a PR person to say, can we come up with a better example? Let's think 5 minutes. Just, if you can't come with anything else, we'll use the cocaine one.
I guarantee
But let's think 5 minutes. Let's think of something else it could do.
I guarantee you they had that conversation. All the lawyers in the room, everybody in the room, like, is this? And he's like, no, I've decided. And everybody's like, oh my God. You know what? I bet he has like a same setup in his office like Putin does, where the table is like extra long. And Elon sits by himself and everybody else, like, because he wants to sit so far away. When people give him ideas, they just don't make it to his side of the table. That's what happens. So like, hey, Elon. And all he hears like, it's like, yeah, I guess we're making a bot that's doing cocaine today.
Yeah.
But here's my take on that. I guarantee you, whatever name he gave it, he's like, I need my own bot. Like, I bet the training data is Elon's Twitter feed, whatever. It's just Elon. Elon's training.
It's all of Twitter. That's Twitter.
That's what he says.
But it's heavily Elon prioritized.
It's like Elon bot. And what's crazy is like he's talking about how there's too many bots and he created his own bot. And it's like, it's hilarious. It's like, but I think what would be awesome if people slowly leave that to a point where Elon sees that he's losing all the users, and he would never admit that. He's going to replace like real users with bots. So Twitter is actually going to be just bots, no humans.
Which is what he complained about originally.
Exactly. And right, it's funny.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it could beat the product from Breaking Bad. Will Grok be able to do that?
I don't know.
The blue.
Well,
it's pure cocaine, the most pure on the market.
Yeah. I'm sure it can do blue meth. I mean, we can, once it's out, we'll ask. We'll give it a shot.
It'll be funny if somebody buys the service and it becomes like the number one cartel in the world, that it puts everybody else out of business. It's like this big thing.
It's only $16 a month.
Yeah, for $16 a month, there's some Mexican cartel like, I'm killing it right now.
So we got the President of the United States issuing an executive order to stop bioweapons. Elon's making an AI that will create them.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So my big question is, what's it trained on? I mean, obviously like X, but did he just like feed all of his like angry emails into it too? Like, is Grok really his personality? And like, because like really it says like, oh, a little snarky and all this stuff. Is like, okay, so really it's just me. Like,
so Elon makes cocaine? I mean, is that what we're saying?
I think
basically.
Elon created a bot which could say the things that he might get in trouble for saying.
True.
Like, and he just, I didn't say it. That's my bot that said it.
My bot that
like,
did it.
Yeah.
Totally wasn't me.
Exactly.
True. So what do you think about the usernames then too? The fact that, so my conspiracy theory here, I obviously lost my username earlier this year through no fault of my own. I did nothing, but my account was suspended indefinitely. Yes, Free Kevin 2023. My account was suspended indefinitely. My @handle was @KevinDoyle, first name, last name. I just have to wonder if I'm in a group of people that just have a bunch of first name, last names who got suspended for the future purpose of reselling it like this. Because I genuinely did nothing that was even remotely worth suspending me over. I mean, nothing. I can't even be like, well, maybe it was that. Because no, there was no maybe it was anything. They literally just suspended the account. And I'm wondering if this was kind of the plan all along. And I'm wondering other people, do they have accounts that are like that are like first name, last name, without numbers, without anything weird? Because I have lots of other people who were interested in my name. There's lots of other famous Kevin Doyles who probably would buy this for 50 grand.
I know, that's messed up.
Like, I'm not angry about them selling old Twitter handles. Like, I think that, you know, if you're not using a handle and it gets taken back, like, I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with them like kicking people out, like Kevin Doyle, or like when they kicked out that like @music person or something like that. Like, if I'm legitimately have the handle and I'm using it, like, I don't think you should be able to kick me out of it. But if like they're very dormant accounts, I don't mind them like reselling it for somebody who actually wants that handle.
Is it worth $50,000 though?
No.
Not for 50,000.
I don't think
sure.
any Twitter handle's worth $50,000.
No.
But I did look for domain names, and I looked up domain names, the most expensive domain purchase for websites. I think car insurance was recently sold.com for $49 million. So
Wow.
maybe.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
I get it. It's expensive.
Who's buying carinsurance.com for $40 million?
Is it
$49.7 million.
49, like the actual URL doesn't matter anymore. No one's typing it in. Like,
I am.
Somebody's
Speaking of Twitter stuff, I just want to say I'm gonna keep an eye at Kevin Doyle 1983 and see if they change magically their name to Kevin Doyle.
Oh, trust me. I went there to look because I know it's going to re-forward, even though it's x.com.
sure.
It's just account suspended. Look
Sure.
at the moment is all it says. So I'm keeping an eye on this when it comes up. But what recourse do I have when they do sell this off?
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing. And can I buy it back? Is the question.
Right.
Yes.
And will I for $50,000?
Yeah.
Hell no. Never, ever would I spend that amount of money.
Well,
If it's
especially for
$5,
a dying platform is what I'm
I'm going to
like.
buy it, sell
Yeah.
it to that soccer player, Kevin Doyle. That's what I'm calling him right now.
I mean, yeah.
Is he still playing? Is he still professional?
Yeah, he's right here. Look.
Okay, so he's got 50 grand.
He's got,
Maybe.
Look at that
he
guy.
can
He's got it.
afford it.
I don't know if he
Yeah.
has 50 grand. He might have a bunch of exes. You know, he's got to pay out alimony
Bad
and stuff.
checks.
You know, I'm sure he's a good guy. I'm just making stuff up because I'm on team R Kevin Doyle. So any other Kevin Doyle
Yeah,
is like
exactly.
you're not the same.
Exactly. See, there's a bunch of them out here. Look, so there are a bunch of
There's an
prospective
actor too,
buyers.
right?
There is an actor. I don't know if he's on here though. I know he's on Instagram, but I don't think he's on here. But look, I mean, talk about like how easy it would be to find a bunch of prospective buyers for that
Yeah, man.
name, right?
That's a
Yeah.
bot right
You would
there.
just look at all the ones
Right.
here that have that same thing, the same name, and you would email all of these people and say, "Hey, I have @Kevin Doyle for sale. You interested? 50 grand."
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's
Totally.
the easiest sell ever.
I mean, I
Same for
would
any name
assume
like that.
there'd be like a tiered system, just like the domains. Like, you know, if you want this handle that like only a few people would probably be interested in, then
Right.
it's like
I would
$50,
think so.
you know.
I would
car
sell my
insurance.
domain. I'd sell my domain for 50 grand.
Right.
Someone
I know
said,
exactly.
I would start over on Twitter tomorrow. I'd say, I'm
Right.
back.
Sounds good.
I would have sold mine for way less, but don't forget, you're not allowed to sell it.
I
That's
know.
also terms of service. You can't actually sell your own.
Yes,
Which at one
like
point in
stealing
time,
from you and then selling.
yeah,
it
which at
else.
one point in time, there was a Kevin Doyle who is a football player. I'm sure he doesn't listen to this. He's a football player. He was a college player at the time. He plays professionally now in like Canada or something. I don't know, or some. He's not in the NFL. He's
If
not
you're
in that.
listening, email us at the Not Null Podcast at AOL.com.
But he sent me a message once. He was on Instagram. And he sent me a message once because I have @Kevin Doyle on Instagram as well, and now obviously on Threads. He sent me a message that was basically like, "Hey, so I'm going into sports reporting, and I'm an ex like a quarterback for like college, whatever. Would you mind changing your name from Kevin Doyle to something else? So because my boss said it'd be great if I had @Kevin Doyle. I'm like,
Great.
sure, I'm up for a discussion. How much do you want to pay? He never
Yeah.
got back to me. So,
of course.
no, Kevin, sorry.
Don't you just want to give it? Give me.
Apparently, I should have done. Yeah.
Like if someone reaches out to you like that, what you do is just create additional Kevin Doyle, every variation or whatever names that he has no opportunity whatsoever. Oh, gee, like the only doofus
Kevin
is available.
_ Doyle, Kevin Doyle.
Yeah, exactly.
The real Kevin Doyle.
The real,
Not
The
real
real
Kevin
Kevin
Doyle.
Doyle.
You know, like all of them.
So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. I'm interested to see if somebody comes along and says that they've actually bought one of these, or whether we're going to find that out, or I don't know, whether there's going to be a marketplace for this, or is it always going to be like kind of little shady, kind of personalized backdoor kind of system? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what.
If there is a marketplace, I think people should be able to put up handles for sale themselves as well, like and get paid for those.
Agreed.
Like domain names. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can take
100%.
a slice of the pie, you know?
And then he'll realize on his dying platform, nobody really wants to buy them.
I know,
Right.
man. The thing that I'm like worried about, that like I know we all like be like, it's gonna die, like, and I feel like it's gonna be like a cockroach that's gonna survive, unfortunately, and it's gonna be like, I think like Elon's gonna figure out. I think what Elon's doing is he's trying to figure out how to make enough money that he could keep like Twitter be like a trolling account for life. That's gonna be his legacy. He's gonna have like after he's dead, there's gonna be like AI version of Elon.
They already have
it's
it.
called
It's Grok.
Grok.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's already
Right.
done
So
that.
he already started his plan. So I don't think Twitter's going anywhere. But again, man, calling it X is like so weird to me. Like the other day I was talking to
Can't
someone,
do
so
it.
it's like, I did this on X, and I automatically thought porn. I'm like, you shouldn't be talking about this
Yeah.
in public.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, no, I said you're okay. It's still Twitter. Don't say like, I watched some
It's bad.
videos on X. Like, I mean, X what?
Right.
It's like, what are you
I
doing?
usually just still go with the social media platform from when it was Twitter. Like I can roll that off my tongue real
that's
quick
so-
now.
yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
all I call it now.
It's a much
They're going
better
to sell
name.
Twitter.com. I wonder if they're going to sell that domain.
They should. They should sell the branding and everything. Like,
They
just,
should.
just let
They
somebody
should
else just
sell
restart.
And then
Twitter.
somebody
That'd be
will,
hilarious.
like-
buys it.
overtake X. Like, oh look, everyone join the new Twitter.
Well, it'd be hilarious if he sells it, right? And you know who buys it? Bezos. And Bezos just brings Twitter back, and then everybody just goes, we just want to be on normal Twitter again. And
No, Zuck should
Bezos,
buy
if
it.
you're
Meta,
listening.
Meta should buy it.
Yeah,
Trump
Meta
Just
will
redirect
buy
it
it.
all to
Somebody
threads.
buy
Trump will buy it.
Twitter. Yeah. But it's crazy, like how if someone already gets the majority of the share of the market and kind of has that reputation, it's hard to compete. Like, I mean, look at Threads. You know, it's you would think it would do much better, and it's still like I don't use it.
I do.
I
Oh,
don't
my
I
use
Kevin
do.
uses
Users
it quite a
every
bit.
day.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've actually seen a massive amount of people come
Oh, yeah?
over recently from Twitter. Yeah.
good.
It's there's been way more people. I see a lot of people posting, saying that they've shut down their account there and they've moved over to Threads. Like I've seen a lot of that recently, more than I've ever seen on it. So there's a certain group of people that are definitely moving away from Twitter for sure.
We shouldn't talk about this as a whole segment because it's probably worth that. But have you seen the company in the EU that has a trademark for Threads that's basically cease and desisting Meta for Threads?
Really?
Oh,
No,
Nice.
I didn't know that. No,
they never think these things through, do they?
no, they just come up with like
For
this is a
Somebody
cool
doesn't do the
sounding
research.
name. Cool sounding name.
What'd you say, Bobby?
For companies this large, it's like,
I know,
like
right?
where's the guy doing the check?
Couldn't you have just spent a day Googling it?
Right.
I mean,
Well, you have whole companies that can do that stuff, you know?
You've got a whole legal team.
but they think they're big enough. They probably don't have to
Yeah.
spend the day Googling it. They can just like, if it comes up, it comes up. Like, whatever, we'll deal with it. What are they going to do? Put it out of business? No, of course they're not.
Right. They'll get a good payout, though, probably.
It's the time of the show. We need to talk about our first robot CEO. That is right. A CEO of an actual company that is a robot. So, a company called Dictator, I guess. Dictator? I don't know how you pronounce it, Dictator. They're Polish. They're
Sure.
a Polish high-end rum company, which I didn't even know there was such a thing as Polish rum. I thought rum was Caribbean, and South American, and that vodka was Polish, right? Vodka's like Polish and Russian, but apparently there's a high-end rum company in Poland. I did look up some of their stuff, by the way. I'm a rum fan. They They have bottles up to $2,000. Kind of expensive stuff. It can be. Yeah. But you can buy them as regular bottles. They have like $50 or whatever. So pretty usual price. But they've announced their first ever, it's the first in the world AI robot CEO of a global company is what they're saying. It is a human-like robot that has AI capabilities. It is a woman robot named Mika. For those that are watching, this is what it looks like right here. So Mika is a humanoid robot. It's an advanced version of a previous robot called Sophia by a company called Hanson Robotics Limited out of Hong Kong. By the way, Sophia, if you recognize this in any way, and this looks kind of familiar, Sophia is a robot that famously said she was going to destroy humans. So just keep that in mind.
What was my PDB score again?
Yeah, exactly. Paul's like, I knew it. I knew it.
I mean, I have so many thoughts right now. Like,
hold on, just one last thing.
Yes.
Apparently, this AI CEO robot signed a contract on the 30th of August. I don't know. Did it physically sign it? They didn't specify, but it signed a contract on the 1st of August, and her career as the CEO of Dictator started on September 1st, 2022. So, Paul, are you ready for your robot CEO overlord?
Listen, I'm still waiting for my robot girlfriend. Like, so that they're moving past that and going to CEO. And to be honest, the more you mentioned this, I thought it was like a tech company, but it's a ROM company. And I'm like, interesting. Why they're making a robot and I realized, like, I'm thinking that it's a cover for some other project that they have going on. They're like, we're gonna put it out there, see like if we get any pushback, and then it's gonna be like, I don't know, we'll see. I'll keep an eye out on this one. But
I had this, you know what? It's the reason I partly looked up the fact that they actually sell rum, because I had the same kind of instinct you did. I was like, are they really a rum selling company? Is it really a legitimate company that genuinely sells stuff? And they do. You can buy it. They do have a product.
Or I'm just gonna guess. They Friday night, right? Just like picture this as Friday night. They're doing like some rum tasting, and you know how like sometimes you just get carried away with rum, and you're like, hey, you know what's gonna be a great idea? Like, imagine if we had a robot CEO, but like we're gonna make her like hot, right? We're gonna like, and she's gonna be a robot, and she's gonna be like, and someone's like, what are you talking about? It's like makes perfect sense. And now somebody made a bet in their drunken stupor. And then now they have
they come, yeah, you're right. And those same guys come in on Monday morning, and they're like, "Here's Mika," and they're like, "Whoa, what are you talking about? You remember Friday?
Listen.
She signed a contract."
Yeah, but at the same time, if they drink too much and they can't make decisions, maybe there is the right choice to have a CEO that's not going to be bothered by our human needs of getting drunk every Friday night and making bad decisions.
I'm too drunk. You guys.
Yeah.
So is this the new origin of the phrase? Were you drunk when you did this?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the ultimate one of that, isn't it? Though. So it's like how drunk were you? Man, I made a robot CEO.
Seriously though, but here's the funny part: take a bunch of drunk people, regardless, and then we'll come up with some crazy ideas. Like, how many companies out there created a robot, let alone a robot CEO? Zero. So a bunch of drunk dudes, like, how hard could it be? Like, they probably use ChatGPT, they're like, how do you do this? Where do you start? And they created one.
They used Grok.
I mean, it's great marketing, to be honest, regardless if it's true or not true. Like, it's a story we're talking about, and people are going to be like, what? That's something. It's a rum company, and now people are going to go on their website, buy some rum, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
That's true.
I am wondering, like, you're right, though. It's true in the sense that, yes, they've announced it, and yes, it's a real company, and yes, it's a real robot, obviously. But what does it actually do? There's no details on this. They haven't said whether it makes decisions or whether it, like, hires and fires people, or they haven't said any of that stuff. So my guess is it doesn't actually do anything, and it is just a marketing ploy.
But
who knows?
They call it the CEO, which to have the title CEO, you do have to be the officer in the company. So I don't know, in Poland, can you make a robot an officer of the company, which means
if that's the case, if you could give
stealing money, I don't know.
Listen,
true.
That's they must have some very lax laws there.
Although, don't forget, didn't Elon Musk make his dog the CEO of Twitter right before he hired?
Right.
Didn't he? I was wondering,
something like that.
Does your CEO have to be human? I don't know that it does.
Okay, so you guys know that I'm a Christmas movie fanatic, right? I feel like we all should remember the Santa Claus 2 when there is robot Santa in charge and everybody starts getting coal. So like, just keep that in mind.
So if the rum starts tasting bad,
the robot CEO, because we've seen it before and it did not work out well.
If the rum starts tasting a little bit oily, like we know she's had an effect on like the recipes for the rum.
But if you wanted to think about it and say maybe the company has an ulterior motive, the name of the company is Dictator. So, I mean, like, it's like maybe the robots have taken over this company and they're
maybe that is exactly self-appointed themselves as a CEO. They're like, listen,
they became self-aware.
First-aware machine.
Sounds like the plot for State Kingsman 3, you know, Kingsman 3.
Kingsman 3. Yeah. The other part of this article that I thought was interesting is that they are trying to teach it how to care about people. And I'm like, how do you teach a robot to care?
And to what end? You're here to run a rum company. Like, what?
Right. Yeah. Like they were like, this is the next step in like humanizing our robot overlords.
Also, why they got to make it CEO? Why not just make it like, I don't know, like office worker?
Officer,
yeah, exactly. Like, I don't understand why they got to go straight to the top. That's
because we've seen Office Space. You can't make it the office worker. They're blowing the building up. So.
True, it would revolt. Yeah. You've got to give it the top spot, right? Yeah.
I like how they say they have tailored the humanoid CEO to embody the company's value. What is that? To acknowledge our AI overlords? You know? It's like, all right, this is what.
Again, don't forget, based on the robot that said it wanted to destroy humans. Yeah. So, you know, just saying, like, you know.
So after I took notes for like all of the things we were going to talk about today, I titled this podcast, "What Could Possibly Go Wrong?" Because literally everything, like robot CEO, what could possibly go wrong? XAI, what could possibly go wrong?
It is. So I think as the last thing, we need to. Do you want to revisit the P-Doom again, everybody? You want to?
I'm still at 95. Still 95.
I'm surprised yours hasn't gone up, Paul.
5% for the solar ejection take out, which is supposed to happen later 2024. Like if you follow like the predictors there on DoomTube, solar ejection gonna take out like all the electricity, whatever. So.
He's been watching those flat Earth documentaries again.
Yeah. Although if the Earth is flat, it just might just miss us. It depends how we, positioned. So we might be good to go.
No, we're definitely in trouble.
Yeah, maybe it's the other side of the flat part that just will absorb it. I don't know how it works. It's like I'm not, scientist or anything.
Off it like a wall.
It'll be hilarious if like flat earthers, they're like, sorry, this is how my mind works. It's like they'll talk about like, well, how does the sun like spin? And they come up with this theory that it's a frisbee that two dudes pass it around, and that's how you get the day and night cycle. It's like it throws the frisbee, that's how it spins the sun. Because
we've said it before. You need to watch Beyond the Curve documentary.
I know. I gotta watch it.
It will make you laugh so hard.
The reason I don't is that I hate watching people that from the outside, it's like super cringe, and you just feel it for them so hard.
Well, I'll tell you what, just skip to the end, watch the experiment at the end that takes the last all of about 5 minutes at the end, maybe not even 5 minutes. Just watch the experiment at the end. That's all you've got to watch. And then it sums up it's in total different tone to the entire movie, because it's like the movie's trying to make one point, all of a sudden the last experiment disproves the entire movie.
Oh, hilarious.
And you realize as the watcher you've been had.
Yeah.
Because they don't believe it's flat either.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it called again? Sorry.
Beyond the Curve.
Beyond the Curve, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our recommendations then, our nulls and our not nulls. Anybody have a null this week?
I'm still nulling daylight savings, but we'll just.
Me too. Yeah, me too. It's taking a minute to get over, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's your not null this week then, Sarah?
My not null is actually something that I use every day. I have a converting desk, so it can go up and down, right? And I stand on this little guy. So it's
little balance board.
Yeah, basically. So I just got it on Amazon. It's got this cute little like thing so I can like, massage my foot or whatever, but it makes standing at my desk a lot more comfortable. And like, since it's like a balance board, a little workout.
Doesn't it kind of doesn't it kind of flex muscles as you're doing it because it is a balanced version of it? Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah,
like
just
that.
on Amazon. I can send the link, but
Yeah. The link will be in the description show notes.
Yeah,
definitely. Bobby, what you got this week?
All right. So the last weekend, I took my last vacation before I'm going to work like 7 days a week for the next 2 months as we get ready for our course to release next year. And I went to Shenandoah National Forest. So I'm out looking for something to eat. These are really small towns. And one of the small towns around there is called Sperryville, Virginia. As small a town as you can imagine in rural Virginia, this is that town. And so we're looking for the one place open, and it's Rappahannock Pizza Kitchen.
Hold on, how do you spell that?
Rappahannock.
There we go.
And Kevin, I don't say this lightly because I've said this to you once in my life before, and I was right. When I went to Capizia in New York off the Times Square, and I said, that's the best pizza I've ever had. This is right there at it. This is like really, really good. I can't say it's better than John's on Bleecker Street.
I was going to say, you're saying this is as good as John's Bleecker Street Pizza.
It's in the top three, man. It's like in the top three. This is really, I was shocked. In fact, like if you go see this place, you won't believe it. It's right beside a country store. I mean, like it's the most bizarre, like the only thing I can imagine is this guy that lived in Sperryville went to somewhere like chef school or whatever, couldn't get a job, came back to Sperryville as a failure and opened up the best pizza kitchen in the southeastern part of the United States. It is fantastic. It's like unbelievably good. So it's really good. And it was 12-inch pizza, $11.
Wow.
Because it's in Sperryville, Virginia. It's like
there's an amazing
like,
deal. That's worth the price of plane ticket to visit. Yeah.
You can only charge so much when you're in the middle of nowhere, right?
It's in the literal middle of the nowhere. In fact, the town doesn't have street lights. It's that dark when you're looking around. You're like, man, this place is closed. It says it's open.
And it's daylight saving, so it was like 5:00, right?
But it's wood fired. They have a wood fired oven in this place, and like it's just really, really good. I mean, like excellent.
Now I'm hungry.
And that is, how do you pronounce it? Rappahannock?
Something like that. Rappahannock
Kitchen. Rappahannock. Okay.
When you were spelling it, I was like, they shouldn't put two P's next to each other.
Yeah.
They just
and then two N's in the middle too. It's with
the
an H.
RPK Pizza Kitchen. There you go.
RPK, yeah, that's what they should go by.
Like CPK.
Yeah.
California Pizza Kitchen.
Yeah. Okay, what you got, Paul?
I got here. Let me send you the link. I'm becoming a very big fan of Airbnb online experiences. The last time we had
that
Pasta
cooking
with Grandmas.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. And now we just recently did Card Magic Session with Yev. He's hilarious. What's funny, he looks so young, but he's like in his 30s. So it's like, Jesus, whatever. That's beyond the point.
Wow.
But so much fun. I learned some cool magic tricks. And let me tell you, if anybody wanted to do like a group session for the holidays with the family, I highly recommend these like interactive experience. And the two that I did was Cooking with Grandma was phenomenal. And then Card Magic Session with Yev, which was pretty awesome. He'll show you the magic tricks and then, he'll do a little show, but then he'll also teach you some magic, which is funny. So I learned some really good tricks that if I were to go out, I could impress some people, like mind reading and like, oh my gosh. So simple, so good. It's phenomenal. Like I highly recommend.
We did this for my book launch way back in the day.
We had a magician.
And we had a magician come in and did it for the book launch and the company and everything. And like, I didn't know what to expect, but it was so good. I mean, it's crazy how good it was online. Yeah. It was on Zoom.
It was online. Yeah, it was on Zoom.
Yeah, it was crazy. The stuff he did. I still don't know how he did some of that stuff. So I'm a sucker for magic, man. I love magic shows.
My brother actually does magic. He's actually, there's a, like, not club, but like a super secret society in California that he's like a part of. But
the Magic Castle, the Magic Circle.
That sounds right. Like Magic Castle. Yeah. That sounds right.
Okay.
That's a legit thing. Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah. he's like, if you want to go there, let me know.
Oh, that'd be cool. You should go. I'm actually
going to California next weekend for my niece's wedding, but
you should
if you can go. I would be there in a second.
Yeah. He's
that'd be
got
an experience for sure. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, that's neat, Paul. Yeah, I like that.
Really fun.
Okay, mine this week, not as interesting as you guys, but I'm going to recommend
mine's
YouTube
a balance
TV.
board. I mean, come on.
Oh, yours is cool. I'm going to recommend YouTube TV. I switched to YouTube TV as my kind of TV provider, if you will.
Where'd you switch from?
6 months ago. From DirecTV or whatever it was called. Like the AT&T one. Wherever DirecTV Stream, it became DirecTV Stream, right? It was the online version.
Sure.
So I switched from that. They kept putting the price up. So I was like, I'm going to switch. And you get a deal on YouTube TV. So I switched to YouTube TV. And it's been great. I've had 0 outages, 0 streaming issues. It's just been solid as anything. Almost exactly the same channels. All the sports channels that I wanted to get. All the ESPNs that I wanted. Like, it has all the live football on it that I want as well. And I think I want to say it's like $80 a month. Something
it's like 70 because I have 70, it too.
Something like that. Yeah. It's not super expensive. And they do have a deal too. From the link where you get this $50 off when you use the link, which is kind of nice. So it'll make it like $22 off for their first 3 months after the trial as well. So it's kind of nice. It's a decent deal that they have as well, and it is good. It has the same. These pretty much always have. They differ a little bit, right? Like the channel wise, there's always like 1 or 2 that you get on one that you don't on another. So just go through the channel list, make sure there's like the ones that you want are in here.
It's got Hallmark.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Sarah is set. I need to make sure that it had USA was one because they show all the Premier League football stuff. So I had to make sure it had that. And then the ESPNs, which this had all of them. But it doesn't have ESPN 3.
Right.
But you get that. I pay for ESPN anyway through having Hulu, so it's like it didn't really matter. But
does it have the Ocho?
I don't think so.
That was from Dodgeball. Sorry.
Was it? Oh, okay. I was like, I don't recognize that one.
It was the obscure sports, like the Ocho.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, ESPN does that once a year, don't they?
I don't know.
They do have that on there. No, ESPN does that. They have like lawn darts or whatever on there, and like weird sports, like
rolling down a hill to catch a cheese wheel.
Yep, they have that on.
That's a sport I could get behind.
It's great.
It's my type of sport.
I think it's a torn ACL waiting to happen. That's what I think it is.
How'd you get hurt playing football?
Like, people play tag.
Yeah, they have that on there.
Oh, tag.
Like
World Tag is a thing that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do they have
it's like in a specific arena and everything.
Slapping competitions. Do they have those? It's like really like
they have that too.
Oh my god!
People get knocked out doing that.
That's another like drunken idea that happened that became a national sport.
Okay, well that's it for this week's episode of the Not Null Podcast. Let's check our mail real quick because I have not checked our mail. Let's just see.
See if Greg responded. Come on, Greg. If you could type it in right, that would be great.
I know. No, junk.
No, junk. Come on, Greg.
No, sorry.
Greg's email
still in here. Look. We should email Greg back and just be like, Greg, you want to just email us back again?
Once a week. That's all right.
Once a week. We'll have our daily Greg or our weekly Greg update.
I think Greg quit listening. I don't think he listens
anymore. I'm going to have to ask him.
I don't think he listens anymore.
He doesn't know that he's part of the show now.
No, he doesn't.
Exactly. He has
would
no
listen
idea.
If he knew.
I'm going to create a bot that's going to send emails on his behalf. So he'll be always part of the show.
Sounds great.
That's awesome. Well, that's it. If people do want to send us an email, where can they send that email to, Sarah?
The Not Null Podcast at AOL.com.
That's correct. The Not Null Podcast at AOL.com.
Never not going to be funny.
You could actually, you know what? Too. Let's ask something different this week. It's coming up to holiday season, right? It's only a couple weeks from Thanksgiving. So
true.
Instead of like leaving as a review, like when you sat around, you eating turkey, whatever, and the weird uncle's like next to you, like tell him like, hey, I know this great podcast. You should like go check it out. Yeah. Just pass it on to family members.
Spread the news.
Yeah,
if
it's
you
like a
email
gift.
them, they'll shout you out on the show.
Hey,
right?
Grandma, I got you a year subscription to this awesome podcast. Here you go. You're going to love it, Grandma.
That's now we're talking, Paul.
Yeah,
That's
I'm going to make not
you can see how
like
this
gift
goes.
cards, like very professional looking. I'm like, hey, like I got this. You get the You got this
with like a
turkey.
QR code directly to the episodes.
Oh, we gotta
Yes.
do that.
Yeah. I mean, people, if you could just, just take care of this for us, that would be amazing.
It'd be a Christmas present to us.
It would. It'd be amazing. And we'll see everybody next week.